Okay? Now, there's a natural way to break this down. Let's do it like this. We're going 15 question segments. All right, 15 times 5 gives me 75. So that gives me 5 sections to practice. Now, when we're practicing the English, can you guys see okay back here? All right, when we're practicing the English, you would then think that take 45 divided by 5, that gives me 9 minutes. That's all good and nice and everything like that. Don't want to do that. I want to push you a little bit. Let's go to 8 minutes per. Okay? When you practice, I want you to do 15 English questions in 8 minutes. Here's why. Because that buys you a little bit extra time for ones that may be a little bit more difficult. If you're able to naturally train yourself over the next 3 weeks to understand about how long that 8 minutes is, you'll end up coming to the end of the English test, and instead of being stressed about time, you'll have 3 or 4 minutes left. Okay, maybe even 5. And then, let's face it, on a timed exam, that's the biggest part of the problem. It's not necessarily a matter of, do I know this or not, but I'm worried about what? That person saying, you got 5 minutes left. Okay? So, which, if you've never taken ACT, at the end of each test segment of those 4, the last 5 minutes, the proctor will announce there are 5 minutes now remaining in the test. Okay? So, it's not a lot of fun to have 20 questions left and have them say there's 5 minutes left. So, that's one of the reasons why I'm really pushing y'all. When you practice with a stopwatch, practice with a timer, and really train yourself how to do that. Okay? So when we practice this, we're going to take our practice to 8 minutes. Okay? 5 sections. That gives us 40 minutes, and then that we buy back a little bit of time. Okay? And if I go a little bit over 8, excuse me, if I go a little bit over 8 on one section, that's fine. I still have a little bit of leeway there. Okay? Everybody with me on that? All right. So let's talk about the English questions themselves. The makeup of the English questions, and this is me doing me, and you understand I'm a very good English student, but I don't like them. I just don't. It's a pain in the butt. I wish they would say, here is a full sentence, correct the part that's wrong. But that's not what they do. They give you this massive passage, and then they will underline this little area, and they'll say, okay, here's 5 different options. Would you change it or do no change or this goes in play? Correct it, okay? All right. It is what it is. So let's embrace it and let's have a plan on how to take it. So the plan goes like this. Number 1, first thing. 2, it's going to be 3 steps to this. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to check my gut feeling. The reality is you've had some very good English teachers. Some of you had some poor English teachers, but more than likely they're not backed up. Bad. You probably have had some people teach you grammar the correct way, maybe even a couple of years in a row. So a lot of times I'm going to read this passage, I'm going to look over here at the answers, and if I get a gut feeling that one is correct, very often I'm going to pick that one. Now, let's talk about the next one. Well, what do y'all? Never mind. Okay, if they need us, they can send Morse code. Okay. If my gut feeling tells me, okay, I think, I really don't know what it is. Okay, now I want to look to eliminate possible answers. Now, one great thing about the English, very different than some of the others, in my opinion, and I take this, like I said, every year and sometimes a couple times a year. In my opinion, it's pretty simple to eliminate at least 2 of the answers pretty quickly. I got a couple of people who've taken it a number of times. They're like, yeah. Okay, so you go from 5 answers to maybe 3 or to 2 answers. Now it's a little bit easier. Okay, so I trust my gut first. I'm going to eliminate possible answers. Let's talk about something to eliminate, though. Y'all, please listen. This is the thing that this guy taught us that I was like, yeah, right, okay, this doesn't really work, but it does. If you have an English question, and let's say your answer is, or the portion that they underlined is maybe 2 or 3 words, And then the possible answer is now 7 or 8 or 9 words. Immediately eliminate that one from consideration. Now, I literally sat in a meeting at Blackman and I was like, no. And I took 4 English tests and then the next 3-4 weeks, and it worked out every single time like that. The possible answers that were vastly different in length than the one that was underlined never were correct. Not once. Now, does it help you find the answer? A little bit. It helps with the elimination process. It helps you figure out what's not the answer. Okay? And again, that can be done in 0.3 seconds. Boom, that's not the answer. Boom, eliminate it. And now maybe we go from 3 answers to 2. Now, finally, the third part, reread. In context. What do I mean? If I've got this right here, and I got my section underlined, I got this whole thing, it does not make any sense for me to read the entire paragraph with my possible answer A or my possible answer C. Let's say I've eliminated down to A and C. Those are the only ones I have left. Okay? I'm going to plug A in here. I'm going to plug C in here. I'm going to reread. And hopefully that right there will then let you know which one's going to be the answer. All right? What I would do there, once it's reread in context, go back to 1, and your gut feeling on which one's going to be correct should help you. Okay? And then make your selection. So let me restate that again. First thing, read it. Look at your answers. Do you get a gut feeling? Yes, this is the answer. If you get a gut feeling, nah, I don't really know, start the process. I'm going to eliminate. Okay? I'm going to reread in context. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to actually practice. Go ahead and stop that.